Hello YouTube, my name is Alex. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review of the Viper Italo. When I was looking to purchase this knife myself, I found there aren't very many reviews on it, so I thought perhaps I'd do one myself. Alright, so the Viper Italo is a very interesting knife. It is made in Maniago, Italy, but I believe the manufacturer is actually Technocut. So Viper, I believe, is maybe the designer, but Technocut is the manufacturer who makes it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it is. Comes in a cheap little box there, nothing special. But the knife itself is very interesting. So first of all, on the measurements here, we have a blade length of 3.75 inches, overall length of 8.625 inches, and the blade thickness is 0.16 inches. So fairly thick blade, but still not too bad. It still makes it quite a nice slicer, especially with the full flat grind there. So technically this is a drop point, but it's a very interesting blade shape. So it's crowned on the spine, which makes for a very nice, smooth feeling. I mean, this whole knife is very nice to handle. Nice ergonomics, and of course you're never really going to be touching the spine. It's just kind of a nice detail. Of course, added manufacturing cost, and it just makes it look really nice. So the blade, in my opinion, is a very special part of this knife. It has a very beautiful curve, and the blade is very functional. It's full flat ground, very good at slicing, thick enough that it's strong enough for most of your tasks, and it does taper all the way to the tip. So of course the tip will be a little bit weaker than in some other knives, but not too bad. So I can give you a quick size reference here for those who aren't familiar or don't know how inches work. You have a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It's a pretty typical knife here, and then the zero tolerance 0562 CF. Pretty similar, although the Viper Italo still is larger. What else do we got here? We got Juice S2 from Leatherman. You get, if you wanted to, you could stack that up. You got one there, two. You could probably do three of these equals a Viper Italo, I believe is a great size reference to show you here. All right, so Viper Italo, right here engraved on the blade, very nice. M390 steel, extremely high quality in my opinion. You do have a sharpening choil. It's a good size for sharpening choil, not too large, not too small. The blade, very handsome. The scales are also very attractive in my opinion. You kind of have this old school look with this little kind of rounded pommel area. I mean, definitely not a pommel, but you know what I mean. And this is a titanium Framelock. So, the Viper Italo comes in a few different configurations. This is the full titanium Framelock. You can also get the exact same knife, but rather than titanium here, you have carbon fiber, I believe still over titanium. You can also get it in various colors of G10, although those will not be frame locks, those will be liner locks. Although I do believe that the liners are titanium, but they probably are stainless steel. Very interesting design. The pocket clip is probably one of the downsides of this knife. It is built into the backspacer, which is a very interesting design. And it looks very cool, and it's extremely deep carry in the pocket. Your pocket's gonna go all the way up to here, and you're not gonna be able to see any of the knife, which is pretty handy, although not too conducive to the wave opening, which I can discuss later. On the inside here, you can't really see in there too well, but there is a little tab that prevents, if I can get the light, you can see a little bit right there. There's a tab on the back side of the lock bar here that will catch the frame and therefore prevent the lock bar from going too far. So I guess technically it's a lock bar stabilizer. Breaking down this knife is very easy. I've taken it apart a few times. You just need, I believe this is a T8 and these are T6, and that's all it takes. The whole thing is broken down. It is on ball bearings, and so the ball bearings have a little stainless steel bit that fits against the titanium, so there's no stainless steel on titanium, it's only stainless steel on stainless steel, which is a nice design. Although the fit and finish inside is a little lower than what I expected. The little stainless steel circles on which the bearings ride do not fit into the titanium perfectly, although I don't think that has any functional effect on the knife. So the way you can open this knife is threefold, which I think is very cool. Most knives, like for example the zero tolerance 0562, just a flipper. You can't use this. It's not a thumb stud. There's no way you could. But it hurts your thumb. No bueno. Although this is a very cool knife. First of all, you have the flipping action, which in my opinion is very smooth. Although I have cleaned this up, put some frog lube in there. Very smooth opening. It follows shut with a little bit of wiggling. You can do the thing where it stops on your thumb. Very nice. So flipping is one. The second, you can flip it open with a thumb ramp bit there, which is really cool. That's probably my favorite way to open it. It's a very smooth opening. You can also open it old school, just manually glide it open like that with the thumb stud. And you can actually also wave this pants out of your pocket, which is what I was talking about, this clip. So when you have the very deep carry clip like this is, which is nice, getting to it in your pocket to open it via the wave opening is a little bit difficult. Although I haven't had too many issues with it, and of course no one really needs to get the knife out of their pocket that quickly. But it is still very cool that you can open this knife 4 different ways. I think that's a really interesting design. This thumb ramp is definitely one of the coolest design features of this knife. You don't see this kind of type of thing very often. In my opinion, very aesthetically pleasing and functionally helpful. I mean, it's very comfortable. When you're getting into something, you want a lot of area for your thumb to be pushing onto the knife. Very cool. Although some may argue that it's annoying that this gets in the way of the cutting area here. If you're slicing, some sort of fruit or food or something, this will hit whatever you are slicing, but you still have a whole good amount of blade length here that will account for that. So the steel is M390, as I said, extremely high quality steel, and has no problems with edge retention. It is a super steel, so not completely stainless, but I live in the desert, so I have no problems with that. And it holds an edge for a long time, not too difficult to sharpen, very nice. So as you saw just now, I polished the blade, and what that is, so it has almost a mirror finish. I'm sure you've seen my face a few times in this video. No big deal, I'm not on the witness protection program. But for those of you with OCD, this will be a pain in your ass, because that means that it's going to be showing reflections and smudges. You can see that smudge city up in here, dude. So, but the engraving on the blade is extremely nice. Extremely high quality premium steel there. Very functional. In my opinion, extremely aesthetically pleasing. It's not too heavy. I think so. This is about 6.62 ounces. So the other issue is this cannot be a left-hand carry. This is only right-hand carry tip up, which in my opinion is the best way to carry a knife. But not really an issue. And then for those fascinated here, this is the initials of Fabrizio Silvestrelli, who is the designer of this knife, as well as the designer of the majority of the knives produced by Viper. So here's the Viper Italo. I would highly recommend it. In my opinion, it's a very fascinating knife. It kind of is obviously very aesthetically and design, from a design sense, very different than the majority of the production flippers that you see these days. The very high quality blade steel. Overall, very good fit and finish. I've had no issues with it. I love the milling on the scales. This back spacer is very nice looking, rounded off and comfortable. Pocket clip is a very cool design. The flipper could be a little bit larger in my opinion, although it's nice that it's not too large. But if it were the size of the 0562, it may be a little more enjoyable to flip. Although maybe somewhere in between this and this would be the most ideal. Overall, I would recommend this knife. I have been carrying it for the past month or so with no issues. It's a great slicer, good for food prep with this nice large full flat grind blade. And while it is a little heavy, the ergonomics are great, and you don't really notice it too much in the pocket, especially with that nice deep carry pocket clip. All right, thanks for watching and have a nice day.